Good afternoon. A warm welcome to you on behalf of APAC News Network. Uh, my name is Rajneesh Ray, and I am the editor of APAC News Network. So we have with us today Vidhu Nautiyal from CloudConnect. Just as a brief, APAC News Network, we are a media organization headquartered out of Noida, and we operate in different domains, including government, healthcare, education, enterprise, IT, BFSI, and startups, precisely. Maybe the best way to start the discussion would be if you can take us through the genesis of Cloud Connect and then talk about the solutions and services that are available in your portfolio.
So first of all, thank you so much for inviting me out, and a very thankful. We are very thankful from Cloud Connect entire team. So as a genesis, Cloud Connect was founded in 2017, and we eventually started our operations in 2020, just before the lockdown happened. We commercialized our product in 2020, and Cloud Connect is a virtual network operator, and it's India's first virtual network operator, and we are primarily focused in B2B communications. That's our prime focus, and that's where we have been working on. And since 2020 till date, we have almost captured around, or we are working with around 200 enterprises already in India. Our prime presence right now is in Delhi and Bangalore. That's where we are, and we are expanding our circles and everything. And we would be very shortly coming up in Mumbai, Pune, and Ahmedabad. That's the next three circles which we would be working on. And as you would be aware, that telecom in India is a circle based operation. So we are slowly, eventually going up with the circles, and we are increasing our presence there. And as far as the product goes, we are into CPaaS, UCaaS communications, and we have been doing, and we primarily focused on these products. And products are Cloud Contact Center, Cloud PBX, and video conferencing. These are the three products which we are really working towards, and that's where we have the most of our customers which are there.
Thanks. So before I come to the customers, I would like to understand a bit of the working business model. So, do you work in alignment with the as a virtual networking operator? Do you work with the network operators who are operating more in the physical mode in different circles? Do you align with them, or do you work with the separate cloud solution providers, the CSPs work? What's the business model?
So business model is we are an independent telecom operator. Uh, Virtual network operator is a independent telecom operator. The only difference between us and the operators, or parent operators, is that we rely on their connectivity, and then on top of it we go ahead and give the services. That's the basic two line difference I would put it forward. Yes, we have to depend, because in India the regulatory is like that, so we have to depend on the parent network. So at the back end we are connected with all the network, and eventually, yes, we are dependent on parent networks for the connectivity, but otherwise all the applications and the endpoints have been provided by Cloud Connect, and that's how we operate. So entire end-to-end communication is provided by Cloud Connect, but yes, for terminating the calls, if I have to put it technically, for terminating the calls and going ahead and giving the telephony part of it, yes, we have to go ahead and rely on the uh, operators in India.
So, one of my queries is, say, the way typically, as you're saying, you are using the backbone
Mhm.
of the telcos primarily. So, and as we know, the quality of the bandwidth is still not, though there has been a lot of improvement, but it's
Mhm.
still not standardized or uniform across the country.
Mhm.
Uh,
Mhm.
so, keeping in mind, and as you mentioned, that obviously ultimately the backbone control is not in your hand. So how do you ensure, and you are working with hundreds of enterprises that you're mentioning, so how do you ensure that the quality of bandwidth is not compromised somehow and it's standardized?
Okay, that's a very very interesting question, and I would like to thank you for asking me that. That's where the Cloud Connect comes into the picture, and that's where the Cloud Connect engineering and algorithm comes into the picture. That's where we optimize. We have codec optimization on real time basis and real time bandwidth optimization of calls and so on and so forth. Because our primary layer is IP, so that's where everything begins, and that's where the bandwidth and everything comes. So we have been so far we have been successfully engineered the part of the voice thing, and the quality has been good. So yeah, so we rely on, absolutely you're correct, we rely on the connectivity and the bandwidth which is provided by the operators, but then we can certainly manage, because there are two parts of it. So IP can be managed from codecs and algorithms and so on and so forth. So that's where we are, that's what we are doing. And when it comes to pure vanilla voice, where we have to go into the PSTN world, then we go ahead and give it to the operators. So that's how we have been managing, and it has been quite a good, successful quality ratio which we are getting.
Okay. Uh, Now, also, if you look at the timing, when you said you went commercial
Yeah.
just before the lockdown, and after the lockdown happened, the pattern of workload itself sort of underwent a drastic change. One, obviously, it was largely and still continues to be a work from home environment, which means the pattern of the work itself has changed. A lot of heterogeneous devices and networks itself have come into the system.
Hmm.
And since your sort of operational timing coincided with that, so how have you managed this growing? Because otherwise, you were planned for the pre-pandemic times. So how
Yeah.
did you manage this changing pattern of workloads, and what were the challenges there?
So it has been a very interesting journey for us in those terms, because you're absolutely correct. When we envisaged this product, or when we envisaged this entire organization, we thought it's a pre-pandemic. We were educating people that the disaster recovery thing should be there. We should be ready for disaster recovery in case something happens, or some pandemic, or something happens. Then of course you should be ready at that point of time. And then all of a sudden this COVID-19 happened, and then everybody realized that work from home and working from any network or any place has to be there, and especially work from mobile is something which everybody has to do, using mobile internet or using mobile as a endpoint device. So that's where the things turn, and for us it has been a real I would say a roller coaster ride, because we have to upgrade our networks and systems on real time. The best part and the beauty of the entire organization is that the entire infrastructure is based out of cloud. So increasing the capacity and increasing everything is absolutely on real time. So in case if anything happens, or any disaster recovery has to be done, it is almost like on real time. And the capacity increase for our enterprises also happen for real time. So if I have to put an example, when we started, there was some x number of users on our platform, and that same enterprise asked us to increase the capacity from 100 to 200, and we did it on a real time basis. So that's the beauty of the platform and the services which we are providing. So everything, the increase and the decrease of the capacity and the platform happens on real time, because everything is on cloud based. So we don't have any physical infrastructure which an enterprise has to put or do anything. So it's everything on cloud, everything is on mobile, and you are up and running. So it's like that. So you subscribe to a service like us, and in case if you want to increase your capacity increases, your workload increases, you just go live and up and running in next 24 to 48 hours, depending on the regulatory requirements.
Now, typically for an enterprise, say, the way they are operating now, as you mentioned, you are offering CPaaS or UPaaS, those products. So maybe an enterprise is using, or video conferencing also you mentioned, using certain applications from you. They will have certain applications on some public cloud environment, maybe an AWS or Azure or whatever. Maybe certain core applications are on a private cloud, and in that multi-cloud scenario, they will have some underlying fabric like a Nutanix or something. So in that environment, how would your platform operate, and what are the challenges for an enterprise to sort of synchronize or um, in that multi-cloud environment?
So typically, in a multi-cloud environment, or a multi-application environment, we call it, we kind of provide APIs to the enterprises. I mean, we have open APIs which can be connected to the systems or the enterprise or the ERPs which they have inside there, or the applications inside they're using. So we do have open APIs for custom applications, and in case if the custom application is not there, or a standard application like Salesforce, if I have to put it, Salesforce, Zoho, or I mean Freshdesk or Simple CRM, if applications like these, or Lead Square, for example, if the applications are like that, we have already done some integration, so it is out of the box integration already for them. But in case if it's a custom application which is specifically designed and made to that specific enterprise, then we have open APIs which either they can go ahead and integrate with their application because they know their application better, but in case if they don't, we can also help them to do that. So we have our own R&D team and the development team who can help an enterprise to do that.
And how do you look at the security aspect? That is another key question here.
Mhm.
How do you look at the security aspect typically from these enterprises?
So I'll take you a little back. When I said we are in license operator, so when it comes to security, so we are following all the protocols which a standard telecom operator has to follow. Okay, so in India there are regulatory and there are safety guidelines regarding to the data for telecom operators specifically. So we have to follow all those data points which have been set by Department of Telecommunication, Government of India. So we have to follow all those rules and regulations. And secondly, we also have our own uh, third party securities and certificates for our data center and our applications which are running there. So we also share same certificates and same applications, the security infrastructure which we have built around our application with our enterprises who are specifically asking for them. So we go ahead and share that. And we also have DMZ structure around the security. So we have 5-layer security protocols which are have been built into the application and the server side of things, both infrastructure and application.
So now coming back to your customers, you mentioned about hundreds of customers. So what I would like to understand is, if we look at vertically, what which would be the key verticals, the top two, three verticals? What sort of use cases they are having with you, and if you can also name certain marquee customers.
Uh, I would, from a vertical standpoint, I would say fintech would be one, edtech would be the other one, and health tech would be three of. I would put it this way, that three verticals would be our primary this thing. And from an example point of view, or from an use case point of view, I would put it like, for example, uh, I would not like to name it right now, but then yes. Uh, so there is a company which has used our platform for from an education point of view, I'm telling you. Then they had this entire counseling system, and they wanted to speak to the students which are coming, and they are counseling the people or the students inside their platform. So we went ahead and we gave them the entire platform, where they are now connecting. Earlier they were using simple mobiles and so on and so forth. Post our platform being into place, now they're connecting these students and the people using our platform. And that now, after connecting, putting up the platform, now they have increased productivity tremendously. They can see what conversation has happened, and they can recommend I mean, the productivity in the sense of training, and they can train the people and see where they're going wrong and where they're going right. So those kind of metrics have come into the picture. Now they can see how many calls are connected, how many calls have failed, and what is the average talk time. So all these productivity metrics have come into the picture from specifically from education district. Similarly goes for the fintech, and similarly goes to the banks and this thing. And of course we have banks already connected, and then we have top pharma retail chain as well working with us. And then of course we have an insurance provider, I mean one of the top leading insurance provider which we have already onboarded.
Okay, and specifically for acquisition of customers, what sort of go-to-market model you follow precisely? What's the go-to-market network that you have?
So we have two models for go to market. A is of course go to market. We are going ahead and doing a brand awareness and so on and so forth directly with our internal sales team and internal sales people which we have. And then we also have channel partners supporting us in the same area and in the same field. And then of course we are also going digital, completely digital models which we have, where the customers can come and on our digital platforms and can go ahead and subscribe to the services directly as well. So we are going three tier this thing: digital, channel, and traditional as well.
Okay. If I may ask, you have explained your working model. How would, if I may ask you for the, what will be the two to three differentiators, unique differentiators, where you would differentiate yourself from your competitors or similar players in this domain?
Okay, first of all, I may be you might be thinking that I'm going ahead on too much on board, but then I would say from a competition standpoint, right now in India, I can very openly and publicly say that right now nobody is providing the services the way we are doing it, because we are an operator and we know there is no competition right now in India for us. So certainly because we are how we are doing it. Because we are initiating something from IP and bringing on to the PSTN, and that's only we can be done by a licensed operator. So that's we strongly feel and we know that nobody else in India right now doing it. So, and we have a complete UCAS platform where uh, voice, video, and messaging is completely integrated together. So it's a one single platform which is providing you the entire this thing. And what it can do from a USP point of view: A, it can increase your productivity; B, it can make sure that your business is always up and running; C, irrespective of the fact how many waves come or whatever happens, your business continuity will happen, your business would run, because the main core of your business is always communication, whether it's internal or external. You need to communicate in a business, you need to talk to your customers, internal, external. So you need a communication line which is up and running. So tomorrow, let's say another lockdown happen, we wish that should not happen. In case if it happens, with our platforms you are up and running in a jiffy. Right now you sitting in your office talking to using our platform, talking to your customers. Tomorrow probably you can sit at your home or anywhere in India, and your services are as good as you were sitting in an office. So that these are some unique propositions which we have, and we are absolutely one single platform for everything. That's what we feel.
So I have this. This is a part of the earlier I asked about the quality of the service, but this since you are a one platform for voice, video, data, whatever you said. So from an enterprise perspective, isn't there a possibility that for an enterprise, maybe the data part is stable, but the voice part is not that uniform? So these situations can emerge out. So how do you sort of manage or synchronize during those challenges?
So when it comes to the challenges of managing things, so the beauty, as I said again, why I'm highlighting and why I'm focusing on too much on this thing is because the flexibility of the platform which we have, and the market understanding of cloud communication is very changing. So market is dynamically changing. People now are understanding that how important is to go to one vendor which can provide you everything from your video to voice. So that's something which is market is absolutely understanding, and we feel as a niche organization and as a telecom operator that uh, today's SMEs and enterprises of India rarely require this one-stop shop where they can come, they can get the entire platform, and they can just start using it, and that too, which is ready. I mean, home working ready. Sorry.
Okay, and another question, since when you are saying you are using the backbone of all the traditional telcos, if I may ask,
Yeah.
so there, what happens, say an enterprise, he's already on the backbone of one of these telcos, obviously, his infrastructure. And now a lot of his infrastructures are moving to the cloud via your platform.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so, how does he align? Is there a conflict at that time, or how is that aligned at that time?
No. So it's not a conflict. To be honest with you, there is no conflict. He can continue to use his traditional telephony line. We just go ahead and interconnect with that traditional telephony line, and we provide the entire productivity suite on top of it. Our complete software as a service comes on top of it. So he continues using his traditional line for making outbound calls for his traditional ways and receiving the incoming calls. Rest, messaging, video, productivity increase, and so on and so forth, we go ahead and give that kind of this thing. So there is no conflict in this thing, and it is API integration and autonomous integration done. So there is no certain challenge there.
Okay. How have you seen, say, even when you were setting up or before the products become commercial,
Hmm.
even prior to that, you would have been talking to the enterprise, the technology decision makers, the CTOs, and the likes. How have the conversations with them changed post this pandemic when their management of workloads have also changed? So, how did these conversations change?
So when we started the conversation and when we envisaged this entire platform, we knew one thing, that the standard of or the work is changing. The speed post pandemic has sorry, has rapidly changed. But speed at that point of time, the organizations, the CTOs, the CIOs were thinking at that point of time that yes, we have to move to hybrid working where there would be work from home and work from office. And at that point of time, we were thinking yes, we have to come up with a platform, because we were creating this platform that which works perfectly smoothly between work from home and work from office. And then certainly where the COVID happened, and the speed of adoption of that platform increased rapidly, and the conversations changed from that yes, we're thinking this has to be there, to yes, now we need it. So I'm sure you're getting the point, right? So the conversation happened, went on from okay, we would need this in future, to we would need this right now. That's the rapid speed, and that's the conversation it got changed to.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to understand is in terms of now, as you rightly mentioned, we also suddenly are not sure what sort of business model will be there in the coming months. Though one thing is certain, there will be some form of hybrid only. It will not be completely work from home or completely work from office. So, what are the additional inputs or measures that you want to undertake in these coming months, contemplating for the situation there?
So, right now, to be very honest with you, enterprises and the people and and the customers which we are talking to are absolutely talking about hybrid model. Okay, they understand, and we absolutely are understanding, and we as a company have a motto to help the enterprises to do a complete digital transformation where they have hybrid model in place, where they have work from home and work from office both ways. So we have designed our entire product around that, and we certainly seen that people are actually now have or the enterprises have actually started looking at the uh, complete transformation to these platforms. I mean, to our platform, in the sense that they want hybrid and they want work from home, and of course, the complete mobility has to be there. Without mobility, I mean, they're not looking for that. And uh, 75% of enterprises which we are talking to right now, as we speak, are looking for that platform, and they are looking for services which are being provided by us.
Okay. So, keeping that in mind, if I may ask, in the last, what are going to be your key focus areas for the next few quarters? That can be in terms of expansion, product or services portfolio, or anything else. What are the key business focus?
So we believe that in 2022, if I may put it that way, we significantly believe that three areas which we are really working on right now is artificial intelligence, which we are bringing into the platform. We have a certain layer of artificial intelligence already built into the platform. Now we are working on more aggressively, and we are also working on NLP, which is a natural language processing this thing, including our platform. And that these are the and of course the bots and the chats and so on and so forth. These are the things which we are working to integrate with our platform, and we certainly believe that in Q1 and Q2 of 2022 we would be including this. And that's where our for us 2022 would be going in. And of course we are also increasing our geographical approach or geographical reach. We are going in, as I said, that telecom is a circle by circle this thing. So right now primarily our circle is Delhi, Bangalore, but we are increasing our reach to Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Pune. And then of course we are going also post that we are also planning to go pan India, and we are also expanding ourselves in Southeast Asia and Europe and UK. uh, just to tell you that we have already expanded in ourselves, or we are, as we are speaking, we have opened our operations in UK, CloudConnect UK. So that's how the expansion for 2022 looks like for us.
Regarding the AI and the NLP integration that you mentioned, so
Mhm.
can you indicate what's any sort of use cases? How are these applications going to help, and what sort of enterprises?
Okay. So I'll give you two examples. Let me put it first very categorically AI example. So AI example, what we are looking at is, let's say, for example, you as a customer is calling an enterprise. Okay. And tomorrow you again, you spoke to the agent, or the agent spoke to you, or the person spoke to you, and then you disconnected the call. And then you again call back the same organization. So as an experience, as a user experience, you would always would like to start a conversation from where you have left, or from the person whom you were speaking to. So our system is capable, or it's smart enough to bring you back to the same person whom we are speaking to, and pick up the conversation from there itself. So you don't feel that disconnect, and you have to repeat yourself and tell the entire story again. So that's one example which we are working on. And NLP is again text to speech, what we are looking at. So an automatic bot where we can have the conversion done. That's what we are looking at. And of course, let's say for example you call and do a complete voice IVR conversation on our platform. So the entire conversation is done at the back end with an IVR, but you don't feel it. or the end user doesn't feel it that he or she is speaking to the bot. So that's where we are working on right now.
So, does it mean in terms of these that bots and these AI example that you are giving? So, is it possible for an enterprise, say they will have an own CRM or something, so where it can integrate with that, because then it will be further effective in that case. So, if they have CRM, or it can be other enterprise applications that they have, can that integrate with the your platform here? What
Absolutely.
you
Absolutely, you're correct. That's where we are. That's how we are building it. So our entire platform, to be honest with you, is built on a modular approach, where we fix up, we connect whatever is required by the enterprise to the connection which is done at the back end. So voice, as I said, our platform is a layer in between the customer and the enterprise. So we bring in that layer, we give that layer to the enterprise. You connect whatever the data and everything remains with the enterprise. We are just a communication layer between customer and the enterprise. So we connect at modular at the back end. We connect to the enterprise communication, the enterprise data, and then we throw it up to the customer. And similarly goes that.
okay? Thanks a lot. Really
Thank you.
appreciate you taking your time out.
No problem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your
Thank you.
time. Thank you.
Thank you.